Mount Unzen is actually a group of composite volcanoes, the highest of which is Mount Fugen, at 4,462 feet, 1,360 meters. Mount Unzen underwent a major eruption in 1792 that killed as many as 15,000 people in what was probably the worst volcanic disaster in Japan's history. No major eruptions occurred subsequently until June 3, 1991, when an eruption forced the evacuation of thousands of nearby homes and killed 43 people.
The fatal eruption happened during the night when most of the town's 27,000 residents were in bed. Nevado del Ruiz, known locally as the Sleeping Lion, had not erupted for nearly 150 years. 4 towns in the Andes region are reported to have been buried when ash spewed out of the volcano, Nevado del Ruiz, causing a mudslide. The worst affected was Armero, the province of Tolima's second-largest city, about 50 miles from the Colombian capital, Bogotá.
The Mount Pili May 8, 1902 eruption was the most number of casualties for a volcanic eruption in the 20th century. Mount Pili is a 1,397-meter stratovolcano located at the northern end of Martinique. Mount Pili is a part of an active arc that follows the subduction zone along the North American plate, which is under the Caribbean plate. The eruption was a devastating disaster to the city of St. Pierre. The eruption destroyed the city of St. Pierre and killed nearly 30,000 people. Only 2 people survived. Lake Ilopango is a 28-square-mile lake in El Salvador. However, it's not what it seems. The lake is in fact a caldera, a remnant of one of the biggest volcanic eruptions in the last 7,000 years. It released the equivalent of 10 cubic miles of dense rock. The immediate death toll is unknown. However, this eruption had worldwide implications. Not long after the explosion, the northern atmosphere cooled significantly. The result was crop failure and widespread famine. The Lake Ilopango eruption may well have been the culprit. Krakatoa was one of the biggest volcanic eruptions in recorded history and among the most famous. It was so big, it destroyed 70% of the Indonesian island of the same name. The explosion of Krakatoa in 1883 was so loud that it was heard up to 3,000 miles away. The explosion and subsequent tsunamis killed more than 36,000 people. The explosion of Mount Pinatubo in 1991 shocked the world. The volcano sent ash 25 miles into the sky. It circled the earth several times. In the Philippines, 800 people were killed and 10,000 left homeless. Pinatubo released so much sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere that average world temperatures dipped 0.9 Fahrenheit from 1991 to 1993. It was the definition of a global disaster. The Tambora eruption of 1815 was one of the biggest volcanic eruptions in recorded history. It's the most recent VEI-7 eruption, and its impacts were alarming. Although Mount Tambora is located in Indonesia, this explosion changed the world. It released so much ash into the atmosphere that it literally cancelled summer. For real, 1816 was called the year without a summer. Closer at hand, subsequent tsunamis killed as many as 4,600 people in the surrounding seas. This was the eruption that created the Yellowstone caldera. If you didn't know, Yellowstone is actually a supervolcano. Not a dormant one, but an active one. Even now, magma is collecting in invisible chambers below the surface. About 640,000 years ago, this lava pimple exploded. It radically changed the geography of the surrounding area and rained ash on most of the continental United States. 4 million years ago, the explosion that created Chile's Pacana caldera released 2,451 to 3,500 cubic kilometers of rock and ash. It was truly one of the biggest volcanic eruptions known. If an explosion like this happened today, it would be the end of human civilization as we know it. Toba Lake in present-day Sumatra is actually a caldera caused by the biggest volcanic eruption of all time. It's estimated Toba ejected between 2,000 and 3,000 cubic kilometers of material. It's hard to underestimate the effect this would have had on the planet. Average global temperatures may have dropped by 3 to 5 Celsius for years following Toba's eruption. Some scientists theorize that it helped lead to a 1,000-year mini ice age, decimating life on the planet.